I'm really excited to be trying something new today. I'm starting my first ever bullet journal. Today I'll be opening the subscription box from Archer and Olive, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the first one they've ever sold. First, let's go over what's inside, then I think I'll do some swatching and talk a little bit about why I'm planning to bullet journal in 2021. The first item I've pulled out here is a double zippered pencil pouch, which, I don't know about you, but I can never have enough of these. So the pencil pouch was fun and definitely useful, but the notebooks are what this is really all about for me. And I'm just grabbing the first one here. On the back of the box, it shows you what's inside. But as I was struggling to get this one out, I decided I'd just save the notebooks until the end of my unboxing anyway. The next thing we have is an A5 bullet journal notebook cover. It's clear plastic, but as you can see, or maybe you can't see, there's some water or gel sealed in with glitter on the front side. The kid in me was like, ooh, shiny! I played around with the cover for a while, not gonna lie, but I'm not gonna make you watch all of that. Next was this box of coordinating washi tapes. I really like the blue teal gradient one with the scallop print and the white tape with the silver botanical on it. They're about 10 millimeters wide, I think, so about 2 squares wide if you're working with a 5 millimeter dot grid journal. You'll see on the swatch page when I get to that what I mean. Okay, so there's another larger notebook in the subscription box. I'm also going to set that one aside for a second too and just move on to the next thing. So this is a small 5-pen set of the Archer and Olive Acrylograph pens in the 0.7 millimeter size. Just looking at the caps, it looks like there are a couple of purples, a gray, a blue, and a bluish green color. There are also a couple of marketing inserts in the box. Let's take a look at those quick. The first page contains some graphics, which it looks like they intend for you to be able to use to make like a dream board spread for your new bullet journal. And then the second page is like a mini tutorial for setting that up. Okay, now let's frickin' take a look at these notebooks. I'm so excited about these. The first one here, the smaller of the two, is what they call a blackout notebook. It's got this lovely light blue cover, cloth cover, and is filled with black dot grid pages. It is absolutely gorgeous. It has an elastic loop for holding your pen, plus the customary Archer and Olive bookmarks. The cover is hardback, and it's got some very pretty silvery edging on the pages. And last but not least, wait, can we take a second just to recognize the lovely packaging that Archer and Olive uses? These boxes are absolutely gorgeous, and the notebooks arrived in pristine condition because of them. So I just want us to all appreciate that for just a second. Okay, moving on. This is the A5 size bullet journal. It's the most common size I've seen watching setup and plan with me videos. Seeing the white cover had me a little nervous at first, but remembering that notebook cover I unwrapped has me realizing there's really nothing haphazard about this group of items. So if you're worried about scuffing or accidentally marking up your journal, well, they've planned for that. This notebook also has the dot grid pages, but they're white instead of black, but they do also have that silvery holographic edging. And the front cover is stamped with a metallic fairy moon graphic. There's a pocket on the inside cover for keeping those loose pages secure. Here I thought I'd just try out that plastic notebook cover to see how it fits. And then of course I had to squish around the glitter again for a little bit. Alrighty, now I'm getting to the swatching. I set up a space for masking. So I set a washi tape border, put down some liquid masking fluid, let that dry, and then put down a wash of clear water and brushed on some India ink and waited for that to dry while moving on. So basically I'm just wanting to test how well this takes wet media. I also applied straight India ink, metallic watercolors, plain watercolors, my black microns in assorted sizes, and some Moonlight Jelly Roll pens that I had from one of the Zentangle project packs. Then I took out a few shades of my alcohol markers as well. So going back to the masking experiment, I used my little grippy tool to remove the masking fluid, and it came off easily without tearing the paper, so that's always good. And the washi borders gave me nice crisp edges too, so I moved on to testing the colored pencils and a couple of watercolor pencils too. These notebooks have 160 GSM paper that does pretty well with watercolor. There's only a little warping and buckling that I think maybe you can see here, but honestly, I like the lived-in look a sketchbook or a notebook gets when the pages warp a little bit, like with my Inktober sketchbook here. There's just something very satisfying about it. So as you watch me set up this 2021 goals page, I thought I'd explain a little bit about why I'm starting bullet journaling. Basically, it's thanks to my sister-in-law. She started bullet journaling in the last year or so and showed me some of her pages where she'd drawn in Zentangle patterns from my videos. At first, I thought it wasn't for me. I thought of bullet journals as something for very busy, very productive people, not people like me. But eventually, I started seeing ways that I could make it accessible, customized to my disabled, chronically ill life. And there are actually a lot of things I want to do with my life still, and I mean things I enjoy, not just things I feel obligated to do. But I never get to them simply because most times I forget I even want to do them. And I'm hoping that setting up this notebook will help me with that. So anyway, this page I'm working on is supposed to be an overview of big ticket goals that I want to work toward next year. Some of my goals, like reaching 10,000 YouTube subscribers, are pretty lofty, but some are also very attainable. I'm just trying to strike a nice balance. As far as the design of this spread goes, I had intended to use masking fluid for the numbers 2021, but the masking tool soaked up a lot of water after I cleaned it, which I didn't realize. And then when I went to use it again, that diluted and ruined the masking fluid I put down. And so I kind of had to pivot at the last minute from that idea, just because I chewed up the paper a little trying to remove the bad stuff, and you know how it goes. I decided to just cover those with washi tape. Unfortunately though, none of the pens and markers I had would write over the tape, so I just abandoned the middle section for now and moved on. I'll come back to that part at a later date when I decide what I want to do there. The gray acrylograph pen in the Archer and Olive box was actually a metallic silver. I love the way these pens write, by the way. After you prime them, the acrylic ink flows really nicely. The coverage is opaque, like with the jelly rolls I've used, but I found these acrylographs to be a lot less fussy to work with. Although I occasionally had to go back and prime the nib, I didn't have to fuss with it anywhere near as much as I have to baby those jelly rolls to get the ink to flow consistently. The next page I'm setting up here is a goal tracker page. Some of the goals I set for myself are quantifiable, so on those I wanted a place to visually see my progress. I'll fill the columns here with either a solid color or maybe even a border pattern or something, and update them like, I don't know, once a month or so. And it'll be kind of like watching the mercury rise in the thermometer as I track my progress. For the icons at the bottom, I filled the boxes with a little watercolor first, and then added some details with the silver acrylograph. And of course, I had to flip back to the main goal spread a couple of times in the process of doing this because I couldn't remember what the goals I set 10 minutes earlier were. That, my friends, is just one manifestation of brain fog. And a reason why I think carrying a bullet journal with me from room to room is going to help me be more like firmly rooted in the present, instead of wondering what the heck I was just trying to remember. The next page I'm working on here is what all the cool bullet journalers would call a future log. I just call it a 2021 calendar. I see myself using this a lot when I want to know what day of the week a particular date falls on. I'll probably use it for noting kind of big things on my schedule that don't happen all that often. Like I do MRIs every 4 months, and getting a kind of visual look on that at where they fall over the course of a year could be pretty helpful. Anyway, it's just a simple page at the moment. We'll see how it morphs over time. For the monthly headers, I alternated between the two purple shades in the pen set. There's just a subtle difference in the colors here, but I really like it. Then I wrote the days of the week and the year header with a white jelly roll over the top of that. The black ink is just an 01 micron. The last page I'm setting up here is a grid cheat sheet. I'm putting it in this notebook for reference for when I'm setting up pages down the road. It may or may not get used very much, but creating it was, as relaxing as any Zentangle, so just putting it in there made it worth my while. So, in the future, I'll be doing some bullet journal Zentangle hybrid videos where there'll be more actual Zentangling. But I thought doing an intro might be a good idea in case those of you who have been watching the channel for a while hadn't heard of them. Bottom line is, I'm still going to be doing a lot of Zentangling, so stay tuned and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Also tap the bell icon for notifications if you want to know when I post new content. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.